December 10th, 2025, Buddhadhamma, page 747, chapter 7.8, factors of stream entry. So factors of one who is about to enter a sotapanna. So far as the discussion has focused on those who have reached the highest stage of complete realization of nibbida, it is worthy, however, to recognize that many individuals, especially householders, who have entered the stream to nibbida or have caught a glimpse of nibbida, these individuals often have spouses and children, conducting their lives virtuously in the wider world. Now, in modern times, people understanding of the feeling of nibbida and enlightened beings have changed considerably. The view held by many people in the past of nibbida as heavenly city of eternal bliss have changed into the view of extinction. Having less contact with Buddhist teachings and being influenced more by materialism has led people to see nibbida in a negative light, as something to be avoided. At the very least, they see nibbida as something distant and without reference to their lives. To address this problem, apart from instilling a correct understanding of nibbida, people should be encouraged to take special interest in the first stage of enlightenment, of stream entry. The importance of stream entry goes beyond an academic interest in nibbida and enlightened beings, but it often gets overlooked. Gautama Buddha repeatedly taught bhikkhus, monks, those for whom you have compassion, those who you have receptive, whether friends or colleagues, relatives or kinsmen, these you should extort, settle, and establish in the four factors of stream entry. Now, the factors of stream entry, asotapatiyanga, refers in some cases to the factors that bring about stream entry, and in other cases to the quality of a stream enterer. The life of a stream enterer does not appear alien or frightening to contemporary people. Rather, it appears admirable. Many of the stream enterers at the time of Gautama Buddha were lay disciples and were exemplary people. They were virtuous, led contented family lives, and were engaged in society, helping their community and the Buddha Sasana, or the Buddhist religion. Although stream enterers have reached a level of realization, they still possess a subtle degree of defilements. They still grieve and lament when encountering separation. A good example of this is Visakha. They still have preferences and aversions like the unawakened people. Although these are unattenuated and do not lead to serious misconduct, their suffering is minor compared to the suffering they have abandoned. They are firmly established and secure in a happy, wholesome, and faultless life. Prominent stream enterers from the Buddhist time to include Bimbisara, king of Madha, who offered Vehuvana, the first Buddhist monastery, and who kept the weekly observance of day precepts. It is important to note that they're talking about the 8 precepts here. The founder of the famous monastery of Jetavana, an incomparable benefactor to the Buddhist monastic community and to the poor. Visakha, foremost laywoman supporter, a wealthy woman who was renowned in Kosala country, she was very attractive in promoting social welfare, despite having 20 children on her own. Jivaka Kopam Sara, celebrated physician or a doctor of the king Bimsasara of Gautama Buddha. And then on the Sangha, the monatistic community, who is revered by traditional medicine practitioners unto this day. The husband and wife, Nakula Pita and Nakula Mata, who were utterly faithful to each other into old age and vowed to meet again in the future lifetimes. These are examples of exemplary laymen and laywomen who were practitioners of stream entry. The attribute of a stream enterer, a sotapanna, that was mentioned earlier in the abandonment of the first three fetterers, samyojana: personality, view, doubt, and attachment to rules and religious practice. Freedom from these fetters focuses on the absence of certain qualities. There is, however, much emphasis in the Tipitaka on positive and active qualities. There are many of these active qualities, but essentially they can be incorporated into a group of 5 qualities of sattva, faith; sila, moral conduct; sutta, learning; jaka, generosity; and panya, wisdom. Below is a description of the attributes of a sotapanna, stream enterers, both in terms of active, present qualities and of abandoned qualities. First, the active qualities: sattva, faith. A sotapanna possesses the first trust in satcha, truth, goodness, and the law of causes and effect. They have confidence in wisdom, and it is possible for human beings to overcome suffering by realizing the conditioned nature of reality. They have faith in the virtuous people who follow this path of wisdom and have profound respect for the Ratanatai, the triple gem. Their faith is secure and unshakable because it is rooted in true understanding. Secondly, active qualities is sila, moral conduct. Their behavior through body, their behavior through speech is appropriate, and their mode of livelihood is honest and upright. Their conduct is free. It is not enslaved by tanha, by craving. They act in accord with satcha, truth, to promote virtue, simplicity, dispassion, peace, and concentration. Generally speaking, this means following the 5 precepts, which is considered perfect moral conduct. The third active quality is sutta, learning. Those learn in spiritual knowledge, sutta vanta. They have studied the noble teaching, Buddhadhamma. The teaching of the noble disciples, virtuous ones, the learned ones, the Arya Savaka, the noble disciples, the Arya Dhamma, the noble Dhamma. This is sutta. The fourth active quality is sattva, generosity. They delight in giving and sharing. They relinquish what they have for others. They are not stingy, not selfish. The fifth active quality is panya, wisdom. They possess the knowledge of a sekha, a learner. They see clearly into the Arya Satcha, Four Noble Truths, on the Patisammupata, dependent origination, and the Tilakkhana, the 3 characteristics. They abandon all wrong view, Mecha Titi. They have no doubt concerning the Arya Satcha, the Four Noble Truths. They know the world as it truly is. Social actions for a stream enterer abide by virtuous conductive to communal life, saraniya dhamma, which engenders social unity and concord. They do this perfectly because they maintain the last virtue of right view below, samatiti, which connects all the others. These virtues are as follows: Physical acts of loving kindness, metta, kaya, kamma, mutual assistance and respect. Verbal acts of loving kindness, metta, vachi, kamma, well-intentioned advice and instruction, well-mannered speech. Thoughts of loving kindness, metta, mano, kamma, thinking well of others, wishing to assist others, cheerful demeanor. Satarana bojita, distributing lawful gains with others. Sila samananta, possessing a similar virtuous conduct that one's companions, acting in a agreeable manner. And ditti samananta, sharing right, noble views with one's companion, which leads to the end of dukkha. In the Tipitaka passages that describes noble views on virtues, there are two special characteristics mentioned for a sotapanna. If they have transgressed the discipline, if they broke the vinaya, it is their nature to confess their transgression without delay to their teacher or otherwise companions and show restraint in the future. And this restraint is shown by a young child who has touched a burning coal and immediately retracts his hand. Secondly, although stream enterers endeavor to assist other companions with virtuous activities, they have a keen interest for training in the higher virtue, the higher mind, the higher wisdom. Just as a cow with new calf, while she grazes, watches her calf, so too does a stream enterer look to both the collective good and the personal progress on the path. Happiness. Stream enterers have begun to experience transcendent happiness, which is profound and independent of material things. They have realized noble liberation, ariya vimukti. Now, free conduct in here means conduct is conduct from which one does not wish for personal gain, say worldly pleasure or a heavenly birth. Note that good conduct always includes right livelihood, samma ajiva. Of the many Pali words describing the moral conduct of sotapanna, stream enterers, there are two words in particular that have been introduced into the Thai language. Ariya kanta sila, conduct cherished or praised by enlightened beings. And aparamata sila, conduct that has not been grasped onto, conduct untainted by craving and fixed views, conduct that springs naturally from virtue. One needs not attach to this conduct, since no impurities exist that would lead to its transgression. The second group of qualities, these are abandoned qualities from one who has entered the stream. The three fetters, sakaya ditti, the delusion of the self, the mistaken belief in the self, which leads to selfishness, conflict, and suffering. Basically, the delusion into the ego. Vichikacha, doubts, uncertainties concerning, for example, the Buddha, doubts and uncertainty concerning the law of Dhamma, doubts and uncertainty concerning the Sangha and the Sikha, the training, the doubts preventing the mind from arousing energy, advancing the path. Abandoned qualities of silabhata paramasa, the misapplication of moral precepts, rules, observances, and traditions. These rules are not used as they are intended, as tools for developing such qualities as tranquility and concentration. Instead, they are tainted by craving and fixed views, by seeking personal reward, enhancing self-stature, blindly following others. The 5 kinds of selfishness, dhamma-cakkhu. This is also called stinginess or selfishness, narrow-mindedness or envy. Possessiveness in regard to one's own dwelling, avasa-macchariya. Possessiveness in regarding to one's family, group, institution, etc., partnership, kula-macchariya. Possessiveness in regard to one's wealth, good fortune, lapha-macchariya. Preventing others from sharing these gains. Jealousy about one's reputation and social standing, vanna-macchariya. Displeasure when someone else's competes for one's gain or beauty. Intolerance when hearing praise from others. Possessiveness in regard to the truth, dhamma-cakkhu. Possessiveness in the knowledge and attainments, a fear that others will gain knowledge or gain realization that match or excel one's own. While possessing these 5 kinds of selfishness, even the first jhana is unreachable. The 4 biases, akati. The first bias is caused by desire, chanda akati. The second bias is caused by aversion, dosa akati. The third bias is caused by delusion or stupidity, moha akati. The fourth bias is caused by fear, apayaka akati. Defilements, they have abandoned course of acute greed, raja, hatred, dosa, and delusion, moha, which lead to an unhappy existence. Asotapanna do not commit any serious misdeed which would lead to perdition. They are so secure from rebirth in states of woe, apaya. Now, dukkha, suffering, they have quelled mental suffering and misfortune arising from transgressions of the 5 precepts. The dukkha, or suffering remaining for Sotapanna, is minor. The active qualities and the abandoned qualities are 2 sides of the same coin. The abandonment of personality view occurs with a profound understanding of the conditioned nature of reality. When the arising of this understanding, doubt vanishes and a solid confidence based on wisdom remains. At the same time, moral precepts are observed appropriately, leading to conduct pleasing to awakened beings. Ariya Kanta Sila. The attachment to the rules and observances ends. When a person develops generosity, selfishness wanes. Wisdom weakens the force of greed, weakens the force of hatred, and weakens the force of delusion, which in turn frees a person from the biases and clinging. The reduction of clinging leads to the release from dukkha, suffering, and experience of great joy, piti. Asotapanna are endowed with virtue and happiness. There is adequate virtue to ensure that they will not cause danger, distress, or harm to anyone. On the contrary, their behavior will benefit both themselves and others. The virtue is secure because it stems from thorough knowledge, which leads to a new way of seeing the world. As for happiness, stream enterers Sotapanna have encountered a profound inner happiness that is of tremendous value. Although they still experience sensual or mundane pleasure, they are not carried away by the coarser form of happiness. They will not sacrifice the refined happiness to increase mundane happiness. Mundane happiness is balanced by transcendent happiness. This transcendent happiness is both a consequence of and a supporting factor of virtue. It is confirmation that a person will not regress or in its supports for further spiritual growth. Stream enterers, a Sotapanna, is of great value to a person who has realized it and into society. Gautama Buddha assigned stream entry to the first stage of enlightenment. It is the point where life as an unawakened being begins. Stream enterers are true disciples. They are a part of the noble community, Ariya Sangha, which is the crucible in which humanity is refined. Gautama Buddha greatly emphasized the importance of stream entry and urged his disciples to set the goal for their lives. He said that the realization of stream entry is better than going to heaven, being an emperor, or attaining jhana, concentration, absorption. There's four of them. So the stream enterer is said to be better than going to heaven or a heavenly state, being an emperor, or attaining concentrative jhana. A teacher who is free from sensual lust due to the power of concentration attainments and who leads his many disciples to merge with Brahma in heaven is considered excellent. But he is surpassed by the stream enterer who has stilled his lust, sensual lust. Quote, better than ruling the whole world, better than going to heaven, better than lordship over the universe, is reaching the stream of awakening. This is from the Dhammapada, verse 178. Those who feel that Nibbida is too distant to reach, too esoteric, too desolate, or too ethereal should use the state of stream entry as a bridge for understanding. Because stream entry is closer to their experience and easier to understand. At the same time, stream entry is directly linked to Nibbida, and it is an entry into the stream leading to Nibbida, the first glimpse, Buddhadhamma dasana of Nibbida. Thus, dual benefited approach is appropriate for the contemporary people and still accords with Gautama Buddha's principles. Stream entry should be the goal for the individual, practitioners, and for the Buddhist community as a whole. In the meantime, one can reach the intimate stage as either a faithful devotee, sattva-nusari, or a truth devotee, dhamma-nusari. Note, faith and truth devotees describing a small stream enterer, Kula Sotapanna, was coined referring to those disciples who has great love for the faith in the Buddha dispensation, whose wisdom is not yet developed. It refers to those practitioners who have developed insight and reached knowledge of recognition, Anāthapiṇḍika, the purity of transcending doubt, Khandha vitarana visuddhi, who have attained an ease of security, whose members are considered to have approached stream entry, dwell in the path, and progress without falling back, and are sometimes included into a noble or true disciples. Those who hesitate or for some reason are delayed can dwell in the preparatory stages of virtuous persons, Kayana, Buddhajana, possessing beautiful qualities. Now, a virtuous person, this term is frequently used in the commentaries and is paired for contrasted in the Dipitaka. This term is frequently used as a pair with Sutawana Arya Savaka. Commentaries include these virtuous persons, Kayana, Puchujana, especially those who make great effort in spiritual practice and whose virtues indicate that they will attain stream entry eminently as trainees, sekas, along with other 7 kinds of awakening, bojana, trainees. These virtuous persons are included in this classification from the level of faith devotees to true devotees. Compare with the small stream enterers mentioned above. The small entries are kula, Kula. Yeah. Sotapanna. Whose members are considered to approach the learned noble disciples. These individuals have studied the noble teachings, Buddhadhamma. They have responded to the call of Satcha, the truth. They have escaped from the jungle of confusion, recognized the starting point of the path. While they still falter, they possess the necessary factors to begin with the journey. At the onset, with virtuous persons whose faith, moral conduct, generosity, and wisdom is not yet truly secure, can generate the quality of learning, sutta, of having listened, of seeking knowledge until they reach the stage of great learning, bahu sutta, of being steadfast in knowledge. It is precisely the learning that helps the development of noble path, beginning with the recognitions of where the path begins. In reference to the two factors for acquiring right view, learning is knowledge derived from others. It relies on the wise and trustworthy companions. This learning is consequently leads to the faith and rise reflection. It leads to yoniso manasikara. Indeed, correct understanding leads to faith, moral conduct, generosity, and wisdom, because faith springs from such an understanding, followed by the energy to cultivate other virtues. These five qualities, learning, faith, morality, generosity, and wisdom, are called the five mundane accomplishments, sampata, or the five mundane treasures, vati. These five treasures are also known to the five noble treasures, vati. Although they're a more common group for the noble treasures to contain two more qualities, hiri and ottappa, moral shame and wrongdoing. With the attainment of stream entry, the five accomplishments or the treasures become transcendental qualities. A notable feature of Sotapanna is that they are not possessors of their material wealth. Sotapannas dwell at home with the mind devoid of stain of stinginess, freely generous, delighting in giving and sharing. Whatever there is in their family that is suitable for giving, all that they share unreverently among those who are virtuous and of good character. Because of this unbound generosity, Sotapannas grow in virtue, but they may diminish in material wealth. Gautama Buddha even established a training rule as the result of this trait. If the Bhikkhu Sangha sees that the member of a family have increased faith but diminishes wealth, it can formally assign them the title of a Sekha, regardless of whether they are actually enlightened or not. It is usually not possible to determine the level of realization in another. Here, behavior is used as for the standard. If a monk who is not ill and has not been previously invited goes to members of his family and eats their food, he transgresses one of his training rules. If he visits their house and they offer food, he should not receive it. Not to mention going and asking for food at this as an offense under any circumstances, except with relatives or one who has given a formal invitation. For example, one can discern two important principles. First, this training rule focuses on and declares a person's inner spiritual qualities for the benefit of the community by dictating a standard of behavior suitable to the circumstances. Second, it reveals how those people who are endowed with certain qualities, whose faith is correct, aligned with the Buddhist teaching, who have realized the Dhamma as a Sotapanna, do not seek reward for their good deeds. They do not chase after pleasurable sense objects for gratification. These questions do not arise for them. I have done good. Why don't good things come back to me? Or these questions don't arise in them. I have been generous. Why am I not rich? I haven't got what I wanted. Sotapanna possesses only the physical eye, which sees material things, but they have developed the eye of Dhamma, dhamma-cakkhu, or the wisdom eye, pañña-cakkhu, which sees clearly into the truth, satcha. They have completed confidence in the power of goodness, a confidence that can never be shaken, regardless of unfavorable material circumstances. Again, they have complete confidence in the power of goodness, a confidence that can never be shaken, regardless of unfavorable material circumstances. When they have seen clearly the truth and walked the virtuous path, no one, including the devatas, can tempt them or to deviate them. They are steadfast in sila, in virtue. The commentaries are used for the example here, is from the Anāthapiṇḍika, to show the degree of a stream enterer's rectitude. They cannot entice or intimidated by devatas. On the contrary, devatas pay them respect.